came from, I believe personally, everything is somehow connected because I had to, the same day I did my upper control arm, literally the same day I did my upper control arm, I had to replace the CV axle on the driver's side. So this is really the reality of when you decide that you want to lower your truck. These are some of the things that you got to expect that's going to be happening. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Happy Saturday. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday. And we're going to be talking about this truck right here behind me. What we're going to be talking about is, as you guys know, the truck is lower, and some of the headaches that you got to expect when you decide to lower a pickup truck that's not meant for you to lower. So I'm going to be being real honest with you guys about, since I lowered this truck, I think I lowered about been like 2 months now, what I've really been dealing with and what really been coming with, what are some of the issues that really come with when you decide to lower a truck from stock height to pretty low. You know, she's not really that low because I still got to be able to use my 4-wheel drive. But as you guys can see, she is kind of low. So I'm going to give you guys a little story on everything that's been going on with this truck. And if you plan on doing the same thing, this is the thing you got to keep in mind. You just got to be prepared for pretty much anything that's going to, stuff breaking. I'm not going to say anything bad that's going to happen because the truck still drive as good as she can. And it's not like a huge major issue, but it's just some of the things that you got to expect that's going to happen when you lower your truck. So this truck been lower for about, I think, like I said, 2 months. But I'm about to turn my camera around and explain some of the things that been going on. So as you guys know, this truck right here, one of the things I experienced recently with this truck is that so I decided to get it lower, obviously. One of the things that I didn't do was, obviously, I didn't get like the lowering stuff that's on this truck. First thing first, just to clarify, this is not like a whole setup. This is pretty much this is like 2 separate setup that I bought from Beltac. So this is a coilover that's on this truck, and then in the front is fully adjustable coilovers, and then in the back is actual lowering springs. So when I bought this coilover, the coilovers and stuff, it is for 5th generation Ram. So it was kind of modified to where I was able to put it on my 4th generation Ram. So now when I did that, obviously I did not had the opportunity to get an upper control arm yet. So I had my stock upper control arm on my truck. So I was using that yet. And one of the major mistake I made was keeping the stock ones on there. So the stock ones was on this truck for a while. After a while, one thing I realized was I needed to get obviously I needed an upper control arm, but I needed to get I forgot what it's called. Damn, I can't even freaking remember. But I had to get an alignment done. So I couldn't get the alignment done unless I get the upper control arm, because it's going to be a waste of money pretty much. So obviously, instead of me doing that within, like, even if I would have done it fast enough, I feel like I still would have came across the issue. But I was just saying, instead of me buying the whole kit, this and that, and putting in the upper control arms, instead of me, I'm keeping my stock ones on there. So that ended up causing me some kind of issue where the stock ones had caused the issue where I believe from I think my axle, the passenger side axle had broke off, and then also I had to repair sway bar. I think my sway bar links or something like that had to get repaired, and then it was well, it wasn't that. It was a tire rod had to get repaired. But all of that issue came from, I believe personally, everything is somehow connected because I had to, the same day I did my upper control arm, literally the same day I did my upper control arm, I had to replace the CV axle on the driver's side. That was like effed up. I'm saying, as soon as we took the tires off, it was to the point where the tires was like it was like snapped in half. I believe that I was driving with it. Probably I did hear a sound, but I wasn't really too sure about it. But the good thing is, within the next day, we was able to caught that mistake. So the CV axle on this side, passenger side, had broken off. It was like snapped in half to where I had to get it replaced the same day. And then also my tire rods had to get replaced too, in order for me to be able to do my alignment on the truck. So, but most of my issue was coming from the front of the car, front of the truck. I'm about to sit in my car real quick, just so I can, because my hand's starting to hurt on this phone. So let me sit in the car and talk to you guys. Man, these doors are super squeaky. I done put grease on there. I done put everything on there, man. It's still super squeaky for some reason. I don't know why, but everything on this, like everything on the front end was like literally the 2 days I decided to upgrade the upper control arm. I thought it was gonna go smooth. You know, when you plan stuff, it never go as planned. That's the thing about cars. When you doing stuff with cars, modifying them, you gotta understand you're never gonna have a day where it's like everything will go smooth as how you expect it to be. So my day, that Saturday, I went over to a friend of mine. He helped me put in the upper control arm. Everything was smooth on the driver's side, even though it was a little bit pain trying to get it off. Everything went smooth. Then the next thing, we look passenger side, took the tires off, seeing that the CV axle had exploded on everything. Like that little grease, it most definitely broke when I was driving, because good thing I caught it at the right time, because the whole thing exploded. It's like the grease was all on the how you call it, the underneath of the vehicle, and then also it was on the upper control arm too. So, but long story short, we had to replace the CV axle, and then I had to do tire rods. Then I also had to do alignment. But like most of my issue was really coming from like the front of the vehicle, but it wasn't like everything been fine since then. But one thing I gotta say is, like, even when you lowering the truck or lifting the truck, because I didn't do both. I had to lift the vehicle before. I went through a bunch of headaches. Honestly, my preference is I'd rather have a lower truck. Like, this truck is not slammed, it's at perfect height, but it just every now and then things that you gotta check, like tire rods, stuff like that, because those things tend to wear out pretty fast, especially going over bumps, potholes, giving my tires plenty of time. Or that could have simply been from like a real bad pothole. But it's just a lot of little things that really comes with when you plan on doing like stuff like this to a truck or car. It's not for me, honestly. I enjoy doing this. It's not like I'm kind of like regretting doing it, but it's just one of them things where it's like you gotta accept the fact that anything could go wrong. Like, anything could go wrong, like parts could get broken, this and that. That's a part of you trying to modify cars. And is it really worth it for me? Like, honestly, 100% yes. It put a smile on my face. Now that I got the upper control arm on the truck, I think those are from Beltec. Yeah, those are from Beltex, and those are way solid than the stock ones I had on there. It's crazy to see how the stock ones was on here, like how they look and how they built, to where like how it wasn't really as beefy, or it was pretty light though for a stock, upper control arm from Dodge. I was very, very kind of skeptical that it was that light. it seemed like it wasn't really well built compared to the aftermarket upper control arm that I have on the truck. Very beefy. Everything, like, it helps the truck 100%. That's like the mistake I made. I feel like I should have just, I got it lower, I should have just put all of that. I should have just got the upper control arm, did everything, but I had to wait for a little bit, obviously. But it was a lesson well learned. Now, is it, doing all of this, the headaches and everything, honestly, for me, like I said, it's 100% worth it. I don't have anything bad to say, but it's just the fact that you got to understand, when you do anything non-stock to a vehicle, it's not going to be the same. And then also the ride lowering, since I lowered the ride, very bumpy. I do feel like I do somehow got to adjust the coilover still, but this is the actual height. I don't know if I got to adjust the other side or something like that, but we did measure it. It is at a good height, but I think that's that's just how it is when you lower any kind of vehicle. It's going to be bumpy going over bumps. But she does ride better, in my personal opinion. But like I said, it's a lot of things. And like, when you're doing this, you got to keep in mind that these things that you're doing, you got to upgrade bunch of parts on your truck. Like, now I still have to now the next thing I'm planning on upgrading on this truck is the lower control arms. And then I'm doing the I forgot the name of it, but in the back I'm doing, like, there's still stuff I'm trying to do on this truck to just have it driving as good as possible, to try to limit a lot of things from breaking. But like I said, at the end of the day, who knows? When you modify cars, stuff sometimes go left. But I'm not here to scare you, but I'm just keeping it a buck with you guys. But that's really going to be it for this video, guys. Make sure, gotta help, give a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the channel, help support your boy. We got a lot of things coming for this truck, so you want to stick around for that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.